What's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Popcast. I am DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And today, as shown in the title, it's the top 10 Funko Pops of July 2023. Yes, we're already pretty much done July. It felt like it went really fast. The summer's been going by pretty quickly. But nonetheless, for this podcast, of course, we will be giving you guys pretty much a whole overview of what's been announced in July 2023. There are some days left, but either we'll do another podcast eventually discussing about those, or unfortunately, those just don't get discussed at all. But nonetheless, the only pops that we will not be discussing about full on during this podcast will be the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, considering that was the topic of last week's episode. So if you want to tune in to last week's episode to hear our opinions about the SDCC exclusives, definitely do so if you haven't yet. But nonetheless, if they are a part of our top 10 list, then those specific pops will be discussed at that point. But nonetheless, let's start off with the first section of Funko Pops, which range from July 3rd to July 8th. Announced on July 3rd, GameStop announced their own exclusive pops of a 6-inch Discarsties and Vash with Donuts as a pop and tea bundle for Trigun. And then on July 5th, Funko had announced pops for the Warner Brothers 100th anniversary. The pops featured here are Claudia, Louise de Pointe du Lac, and then a Louise de Pointe du Lac with a scythe that's exclusive to the Funko shop. And then announced on that same day, Funko had announced a wave of Ted Lasso pops, which features common pops of Ted Lasso with the Chase, Keeley, Roy Kent, Rebecca Welton, and Sam Obisani. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, probably not. And then we have exclusive pops of Ted Lasso with Believe sign, that's going to the Funko shop, Jimmy Tart going to Target, Coach Beard going to Entertainment Earth, and then a Ted Lasso with teacup that will be exclusive to Amazon. Then on July 6th, Drop had confirmed the redeemable pops for the Stranger Things NFT set, which we have legendary pops of Lucas, Will the Wise, Dustin, and Mike limited to 3,000 pieces. The Grail being Dragon limited to 1,106 pieces, and then the royalty being Freddie Funko as Eddie Munson limited to 3,600 pieces. Then on July 7th, Funko had confirmed the pops for the Fun on the Run, which the pops featured here that are exclusive to that are Liv Morgan from WWE, a Chief Brody from Jaws pop VHS covers, a dude from the Big Lebowski pop VHS covers, and then a 10-inch Bumblebee for the Transformers Rise of the Beast movie. And then last but not least for this section, we have ourselves a new version of Namor from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. It's a jaded version that's a pop and tea bundle, and that was announced by GameStop since it's their own exclusive. All right, so first off are the Trigon pops, and these are pretty decent looking pops. I like the one arm and how it looks very, I guess, mechanic-like, and then the green Mohawk-esque look on this character. And then the pop and tea bundle is pretty decent also. I like those like kind of comedic anime pops, and this seems to be one of them where Vash is chewing on what looks to be a nice old-fashioned plain donut. Probably not from Tim Hortons, but nonetheless, it's still a pretty cool looking pop. Then we have the pops for Warner Brothers 100th. I can't remember the name. I think it's something to do with vampires, but nonetheless, these look pretty decent. I think there were a lot of hype going on around these pops, so I don't blame them. These are pretty decent, especially the one with the scythe. And then we have the new wave of Ted Lasso, or I think it actually is the first wave of Ted Lasso pops, and these are pretty cool pops, especially the Chase. And then the Coach Beard, that's an Entertainment Earth exclusive, I think also looks pretty cool. And then we have ourselves the Stranger Things NFT pops, and these aren't too bad. These are from like the painting, I believe, that's given to one of the boys where they're all dressed up in their D&D attires, and then you got the dragon in the background. These are not too bad. I mean, a third Will the Wise, though, but nonetheless, this is a cool set of pops for NFTs because you don't necessarily need to get this set, but at the same time, you might. And then we have the pops for Fun on the Run, starting off with the Liv Morgan. And I actually like this Liv Morgan much better than the other Liv Morgan, mostly because this is probably what I think of when I think of Liv Morgan. Plus, the other one's a little bit outdated since she is no longer the SmackDown Women's Champion and hasn't been champion in over a year. Then we have the Jaws pop VHS covers, and this isn't too bad. I mean, I don't mind it being Chief Brody, but how awesome would it have been if the pop was the shark literally mid coming out of the water and maybe even the person swimming in its mouth? I think that would have been really cool to basically actually match the cover there. And then we have the dude from the Big Lebowski. Now, this was the first dude pop we had gotten in 10 years that was announced before the one from San Diego Comic-Con. And this isn't too bad. I mean, it's almost identical to the OG one, except it's basically matching the color scheme of the cover, which isn't too bad. And I like how they pulled off the glasses also. And then we have the 10-inch Bumblebee for Transformers Rise of the Beast. And this isn't too bad. I'm sure that the details from the 4-inch pop have been brought out a lot more in this 10-inch pop. And then last but not least, we have ourselves the Jaded Namor for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And this pop isn't entirely too bad. I can't exactly remember what other people were thinking as terms to what else this should have been as instead of just kind of a different colorway. But nonetheless, the colorway does look very nice.
All right, so first we start off with the new Trigon pops, and these are okay. There's nothing too crazy with these. I do like the shirt that comes with the Pop and Tea bundle, but overall from that, there's just nothing super crazy going on with either of these pops. And then we have the 3 pops for the newest Warner Brothers 100 set, and these are kind of meh. I mean, the exclusive and the common are very similar beside just the body change, I guess, so it doesn't really do a whole lot for me. And then we have the Ted Lasso pops, and these look pretty sweet. A coworker of mine actually is searching for these pops, so you might see them featured on the channel as I pick them up for him. And if I could find that chase of Ted Lasso, that would be super cool, because yeah, that's got to be the best pop out of the set, in my opinion. And then next we have the Stranger Things NFT pops, and kind of excited about this because there are some cool pops here, but also it's going to break the bank. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, we did do a video opening up a ton of the packs for this NFT drop. So going through these pops, we got another Will the Wise, kind of a little bit disappointing, but it is a different attire, I guess, because it's not in the purple. It's actually like this gray outfit. The Lucas, the Dustin, and the Mike. And then we have the Grail with the dragon, and this is pretty cool, but it's not anything. It's not like actually a character from Stranger Things. It's just from the painting that Will did. And then lastly, we have the Freddy Funko as Eddie Munson, and this pop is awesome. I'm really hoping to get a royalty set so I can get my hands on that pop, because I feel like the value is going to be huge on it, but also it's Eddie Munson and it's Freddy Funko. This needs to be in my collection. And then starting off the pops for the Fun on the Run, we have Liv Morgan, and this is okay. I also do like it better than the other Liv Morgan we got, but feels just a little bit plain to me. And then we have the Chief Brody for the Jaws cover. And yeah, I don't like this. I don't like when they do covers like this. I think that it would have made a lot more sense and would have been a lot cooler if they would have had the shark kind of just in an upward pose, even just the head of the shark, and then have like a pocket-sized pop kind of swimming on the water above him. I think that would have looked amazing, but it was a missed opportunity by Funko. And then we have the Big Lebowski cover with the dude, and this is awesome. This is the way that I would like to see covers gone. Basically, you have the same dude puff, but it has like black and white feel to it, and you keep the glasses with the color and the details there. It matches the cover perfectly, and that's exactly what I want to see. Then we have the jumbo-sized Bumblebee, and yeah, like DK said, you're going to see the details better with this thing. I think it makes sense for Transformers pops to be jumbo-sized because obviously Transformers in the movie are huge, and even the toy line is pretty big figures, so it kind of makes sense to have it be a bigger pop. And then lastly, for this section of pops, we have the Namor Pop and Tea bundle, and I don't know, I kind of like this jaded look to it. I think that that's an interesting way to do it, but overall, it's not the greatest. The t-shirt is pretty cool, though.
All right, so now looking at the next section of July pops, which range from July 11th to July 22nd. So it's going to be a big section. Starting off with July 11th, we have a pop of 21 Savage, and then announced on that same day are pops from Loterita, which features La Chalupa, La Muerte, El Diablito, and then glow in the dark versions of La Muerte, which will be exclusive to Entertainment Earth, and then a glow in the dark El Diablito, which will be exclusive to previews. Then on July 12th, Funko announced a new set of Duran Duran pops, which features Andy, John, Nick, Roger, and Simon, and it also announced the next pop involved in the Captain America Civil War Build-A-Scene, which is of Falcon, and this is exclusive to Amazon. Then on July July 13th, Funko had announced the next pop in the League of Villains Build-A-Scene Deluxe set exclusive to Specialty Series, which is of Tomura Shigaraki. Then on July 17th, Funko had announced their own Funko Shop exclusive pop of Yamato from One Piece, which has a mass chase. And then on that day, they had confirmed the mascot pops for the Box of Fun for the Camp Fun Days, which are of Chesapeake Eagles, Funamuk Bears, Papawaka Lumberjacks, and Protomoa Wolves. Then on July 18th, Funko had confirmed the wave of pops for Captain Planet, which features Linka, Kiwami, Wheeler, Mati, Captain Planet, and G. And then on that same day, they had announced a pop of Bullseye with Mickey Mouse ears that's going to be exclusive to Target. Then on July 19th, Funko had announced a pop comic covers of Harleen Quinzel for the DC Comics lineup. On July 21st, Funko had confirmed 2 more pops for the Skiff Scene Return of the Jedi Pop Deluxe set, which is of Han Solo and Lando Calrissian, which both of them will be exclusive to Target. And also on that day, Target had announced their own exclusive pops of a metallic Optimus Prime that's a part of a Pop and Tea bundle, and then 2 more WWE covers featuring Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 3. And then lastly, on July 22nd, Corey Feldman had announced his own exclusive pops of course, himself, with one of them being a Diamond Collection pop. All right, so starting off with the 21 Savage, I know that various retailers did announce this on their website like a few months ago, like Entertainment Earth, but we waited until Funko actually confirmed it, and this is pretty decent. A lot of people are super hyped that 21 Savage finally has his own Funko Pop. And then we have the Loteria Pops, which these are pretty interesting. I think this is actually a part of the games lineup, if I'm not mistaken. I can't exactly remember. But nonetheless, the glow-in-the-dark Pops for this set do look really nice with the yellow and especially the red. Then we have the Duran Duran Pops for Wild Boys, as it was called. I forgot what the music video was for it. And these look pretty decent, I guess. I mean, I don't really think the Duran Duran Pops sold all that much for the first time. Why did they need to make another set? And then the next pop for the Civil War Build-A-Scene, and it's of Falcon. I think that was the one that I kept forgetting who was a part of the set, because now, as you can see in the photo, because it is the 10th out of 12 pops, that the last 2 that need to be announced are, of course, Captain America and Iron Man to make that infamous scene. So I can't wait to see what all these look like together. Then we have Tomura Shigaraki for the League of Villains Deluxe set, and this is not too bad. I mean, I like the posing where he's sitting in the bar stool and his arms are up, and it looks like there's only, 1 more pop left, and I'm going to assume it's probably all for one if I were to guess correctly. Then we have Yamato from One Piece, and this looks pretty decent, especially the mass chase. I think that's pretty decent. I kind of like this pop alone better than the Wanted poster that we had gotten. Then we have ourselves the pops for Camp Fun Days, the mascots, and these all look really awesome. I think my favorite out of these probably have to be the Chesapeake Eagles, just because, I don't know, it just looks really awesome with the posing, and especially where the flag is placed. But nonetheless, like, all these are really detailed, and it'd be cool to have either one of those. At first, when I first seen these, I'm like, damn, I wish these were flocked. But then the flocked ones are a part of the at-event version of the box. So if you were at Fun Days this past weekend, you would have gotten the flocked version of any of these, whatever team you were assigned to, while the ones you would purchase online are non-flocked. But nonetheless, these are pretty detailed pops. Then we have the wave of pops from Captain Planet, and these look not too bad. I mean, there are people that are hyped for this, and the Captain Planet pop itself does look pretty cool. We did get the one announced for San Diego Comic-Con, so now there's a wave of pops coming out, which is really cool. Then we have the Bullseye with Mickey Mouse ears, and I don't know, I'm kind of iffy on this. I think it's cool, but it's not at the same time. I felt like we could have used Bullseye in a different capacity. The Harleen Quinzel pop comic covers, and this looks pretty decent, especially how it pretty much copies the front there in a way, because you don't really know what's going on with the body, but as terms to the face, especially where the strands of hair are placed, is pretty much spot on to the cover. Then we have the Skiff Pop Deluxe Build-A-Scene here for Return of the Jedi. And yeah, this is to be expected. We knew Han Solo was going to be one, and we knew that Lando Calrissian was going to be one. Now it's the other 2 to be confirmed, which will probably be Boba Fett and then another Skiff guard. And then we have the Pop and Tea bundle for the metallic Optimus Prime. And this makes sense. I mean, he is a robot after all, so it makes sense for it to be metallic. And the t-shirt looks pretty decent. The box, it's how boxes are nowadays. And then we have the WWE covers for WrestleMania 3, Andre the Giant, and Hulk Hogan. And it's cool to see more of these, but I just kind of wish that if they were doing these posters where it features two people on the cover, why not actually do what they do with the movie posters and add two people into one cover, and you just do this massive poster? Because buying both of these at the same time will probably cost maybe the same amount as you would with the actual movie posters, instead of having to buy two separate ones like this. I don't know. I just feel it was kind of pointless. And then last but not least for this section, we have the Corey Feldman pops. We have the regular one, and then the Diamond Collection version where it's all silver, but you do get that glitter aspect. Kind of find it weird that Corey Feldman is a part of the Icons lineup. Yeah, he's an actor, but like, I don't even know what he does outside of acting. I think maybe he's like some sort of singer, songwriter. I don't know. It just kind of looks like Michael Jackson Wish.com to me.
21, 21, 21. All right, we got 21 Savage finally, and this pop looks pretty good. It definitely resembles 21 Savage enough. I think the hair is good. Obviously, the tattoo on the face is good, and the body is okay as well. I'll probably be picking this up. It's great to see more rappers in the Pop Rocks lineup. That is something that I've been asking for. Did I want 21 Savage? Maybe not, but I do like 21 Savage, so this is probably a pop that I will pick up. And then we have these Lateria pops, and these are pretty cool. There's not like a ton going on with the like skeleton and the devil one, but it is cool that there is the glow in the dark versions, because at least that gives them a bit more hype, and they are a little bit better that way because there's just not a ton of detail with those pops. And then we have the new Wild Boys Duran Duran set. And this is interesting. Like DK said, these definitely did not sell well, or the original Duran Duran set at least. Definitely seen those at our local GameStops where they're kind of in the clearance for a while and didn't really sell well until they were down to like $5 Canadian. But that being said, I do think that these ones look better than that original set. And then we have the next pop for the Civil War Build-A-Scene with the Falcon, and this is coming along pretty well. I mean, once we get Captain America and Iron Man, I think it will all come together. It does feel a little congested, though, looking at the picture of both sides. Then we have the Tomoro Shigaraki, and this is pretty cool. I like the posing on this. It feels like this Build-A-Set has been going forever now, so hopefully we get the last pop very soon so that we don't really have to keep going at it and kind of see it in its full capacity. And then we have the Yamato pop from One Piece, and this common is pretty cool. And then you have the chase, and I think that that is even better. I like the way that the mask looks, and it's not just a head swap. There's actually a different body for this chase version, so that's always a great thing when we're looking at really good chases. And then we have the mascots for the Camp Fun Days, and these have a bunch of really cool details. None of them really do anything for me. Like, I don't really love any one of these, but it does fit the theme very well. And I think it's a good job of picking like some different animals as well as like the lumberjack. I think that this is just a really awesome set of 4 pops. And then next we have the wave of Captain Planet pops, and this is kind of to be expected after we've seen the exclusive, but I didn't really expect to see a full wave. I expected, like, let's say a couple years ago, thinking about wanting a Captain Planet pop, I figured that was going to be the only pop we were going to get and not actually get other characters from the show. So this is really awesome. I'll probably stick with just getting the Captain Planet, which I feel like most people will do, but that doesn't take away from the set because I think it's great that we got all of the characters. And then next we have the Mickey Mouse ear wearing Bullseye, and yeah, this definitely isn't my favorite Bullseye. I do like the Disney 100 shirt. I think that that makes a lot of sense, but I feel like there's been a lot of other better Bullseyes, but I feel like maybe Funko just needs to try to do something else with Bullseye besides just like the shirt kind of swap. At least he does have the ears here, but I don't know. They're just not crazy good in my opinion. And then we have the Harleen Quinzel cover. This is really good. The body, I feel like, doesn't quite match the cover itself because I feel like she does have her hand up and it's not exactly in the pose that the body is in, but that head sculpt is amazing. It looks just like the cover. I love the smile on it. Everything about that head sculpt. I don't think there's anything they really could have done to make that any better than it is. And then we have the next two pops for the Star Wars Return of the Jedi Build-A-Set. And these are okay. I'm liking how this is looking. I think that once all of them are there, this is going to be a really cool set. But on their own, these pops kind of look a little bit silly because usually with like a Build-A-Scene, you kind of get like something cool with the background. But with these pops, it's kind of very basic. But like I said, once it's all together, I think it is going to look awesome. And then we have the Pop and Tea bundle for the metallic Optimus Prime. And this is okay. I think it kind of makes sense to be metallic, but I don't know, definitely not one of my favorite Optimus Prime pops. And then we have the WrestleMania 3 covers. And I got to agree exactly with DK, where he said this should be bigger and have both of the pops in it. I think that is exactly how it should be. I feel like it's going to look a little bit silly. Let's say if you want to get both Hulk Hogan and Andre, and then you put them together, and then you have two of the cover and then each of the characters. That's just weird. I think it should be one, but at the same time, I'm really enjoying these covers, and I really want to see like the really awesome pay-per-view covers that we've seen from like 2002 to like 2008 era, because we definitely seen a lot of cool covers there. So if we can get some of those, that'd be sweet. And I feel like with most of those covers, it was limited to just one superstar on the poster, I guess. So I feel like those will be looking better, and you won't have this issue where you have to split up a poster into two separate pops. And then lastly, we have the Corey Feldman, and this is okay. I don't think if I seen the pop out of box, I would say, oh yeah, that's Corey Feldman. But Corey Feldman has also played a ton of different characters, so he has had pops before, but not just a normal Corey Feldman pop, I don't think. And the Diamond Collection one actually isn't that bad. I like that they changed the color with the face to that silver look. That way it doesn't feel like they just threw glitter on the original pop and then kind of labeled it as something else. It's actually kind of its own pop, and that's a good thing.
All right, so now looking at the last selection of pops before we move on to that top 10 list, which ranges from July 24th to today as we're recording this, which is July 26th. So starting off July 24th, Gabriel Iglesias had announced his own pop of, well, himself jumping, which was exclusive to his website. July 25th, Funko had announced the wave of pops for Daria, which features pops of Jane Lane, Joe Landon, and then Daria with the Flame Eyes Chase. And then today, as we were recording this, July 26th, Funko had confirmed the pop movie posters for both The Dark Knight, which features Batman and the Joker, and Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Sorcerer's Stone in the US, featuring Harry Potter, Ron, and Hermione. So starting off with the Gabriel Iglesias pop, what is there new to say about Gabriel Iglesias besides, holy crap, another Gabriel Iglesias pop? I mean, this was revealed this past weekend also at Fun Days, along with a silver metallic version of this pop, which was limited to 300 pieces if you were at the convention. But I don't know, when is it going to be the end of Gabriel Iglesias pops? Because like, I'm so sick and tired of feeling like I got to talk about a Gabriel Iglesias pop every podcast. Then we have the new wave of Daria pops, or I should say the first wave of Daria pops, because the only one we had was that singular one for a while from New York Comic Con. I believe it was 2019. And these are not too bad. I mean, I like the whole look of all of them, especially when you have Daria, and then you have the Chase, where the book is a different color, but her eyes are flames as if it were like a reflection from the book, which is pretty sweet. I actually like that Chase a lot. And then we have the movie posters for both The Dark Knight and Harry Potter. The Dark Knight, it's not entirely too bad. I feel like they could have pulled this off with just one pop, and obviously it's Batman himself, because that's all you see. But you did add the Joker there because most of the movie posters have two pops. Besides, I believe the Indiana Jones is one pop, but it has the whip in that. But nonetheless, I mean, I guess it's all right. And then the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone cover here. This one is meh, but I mean, I'm very curious to know like if it's the same price as the Dark Knight one, because if it is, then that's pretty crazy how you're getting basically an extra pop for the same price, instead of, two pops for, let's say it was like $90 Canadian, and then you get three pops for $90 when it comes to this one. I wonder if there's a difference because there is three pops instead of two for the movie posters.
All right, so we have yet another Gabriel Iglesias, and yeah, like DK said, when is this going to stop? I think that the water's getting pretty thin at this point. The puddle's kind of drying up here. This one's okay, actually. I kind of like it. It's like the Jumpman logo for Jordan, which is cool, and it's also featured on the shirt. But I don't know. I just feel like we don't need more Gabriel Iglesias pops. We've seen a ton now. There's been good ones. You can get them signed, which is awesome. I don't know. I think it's just getting oversaturated at this point. And then we have the first wave of Daria pops, and this is really surprising. I thought, kind of like Captain Planet, we were just going to get that one Daria pop, but now we do have more. These are pretty cool. I think they all look great. The chase version of Daria is awesome as well. That's such a great idea for a chase. And then we have the cover for the Dark Knight, and yeah, like DK said, this definitely did not need the Joker in it. I think that it would have been perfect with just Batman. It kind of ruins it for a cover for me. I think that they could just have like a 2-pack and that would be cool. And then just for this one, have just Batman in it. I like to see the pop that's featured with a cover or a poster or whatever to be like it shows on the background. So I don't know. This doesn't really do it for me, but the Joker pop is cool. The Batman pop is also cool as well. And then we have Ron, Harry, and Hermione for the Harry Potter cover. This is pretty cool. I like this one. I think that this is a perfect example for if you wanted to add a Harry Potter pop to your collection, but you didn't know what to get and you didn't really want to add multiples. This is kind of the perfect one to get. You get 3 characters with it. It's 3 of the most famous characters, obviously Harry Potter. So yeah, I think that this is great. The cover is cool, and this just makes sense to have these 3 characters in the cover, but I am also interested to see if this is going to cost more or not, because this could have a pretty good value at retail.
All right, so now it's time for the top 10 Funko Pops of July 2023. I mean, July was an insane month, especially with San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. Nonetheless, I mean, let's get right to it with the top 10 list. We'll go back and forth like usual, starting off with me and my number 10 pick, and that will be the Fun on the Run exclusive Liv Morgan from WWE. Like I mentioned earlier, I think that the pop is pretty decent, and I like this one much better than the common version that they released with the SmackDown Women's Championship. It's more accurate to what she looks like today, but there are more detailed pops, which is why it's right at the bottom.
Coming in at number 10 on my list, I have the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Tweety Bird from Looney Tunes. I feel like this one's pretty solid. It's cool to see a Tweety Bird get his own pop like this, and the attire is pretty cool. I like the hat and the shoes and everything like that. So I think that that's good than rather just giving us a plain Jane Tweety Bird.
Coming in at number 9 on my list is the Funko Shop exclusive Yamato Chase from One Piece. I think this is pretty decent, especially with the way that the mask looks. And I do think that it's a much better One Piece pop that we got this month than the wanted poster of Goldie Roger.
Coming in at number 9, I have the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Bizarro Superman. I think the detail on this is pretty cool. It's definitely a lot better than that OG one that we got. I like the mold for the head, as well as the cape with the rips in it. I think is a really good added touch of detail.
Coming in at number 8 on my list is the first San Diego Comic-Con pop on this list, and it is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive shared with Walgreens Trigon from the Justice League. This is a very detailed pop with the 4 different eyes, and just the body sculpt overall looks really awesome on this pop.
Coming in at number 8 on my list, I have the Harry Potter movie poster. Like I said, I think this is a really good pop. If you just want one Harry Potter pop in your collection, you kind of get a lot out of it. You get a really cool poster in 3 pops rather than the 2 that we've normally been seeing. The pops aren't that crazy. There's nothing like super going on with them, but I don't think it's needed when it comes to a poster like this.
Coming in at number 7 on my list is the San Diego Comic-Con shared with Best Buy exclusive Jeff the Dude Lebowski. This pop is wicked with the posing that's involved. You have the carpet base. Definitely a pop that doesn't take away from the OG one and has a lot more detail, and one that you can basically say, I have a pop from the Big Lebowski instead of paying so much money for the OG pop.
Coming in at number 7 on my list, I have the Captain Planet Pop. This is great. Definitely wanted a Captain Planet Pop for a while, and I'm glad we got one now. And it's just an extra surprise that we've gotten a whole wave that's going along with this set.
Next up on my list, number 6, it is the San Diego Comic-Con shared with Funko Shop exclusive Bizarro Superman for Warner Brothers 100. Basically, everything MD mentioned, I am also going to mention about how detailed it is and how much better detail it is than the OG version, although that OG one is still pretty cool. This one, it's a really awesome looking pop.
Coming in at number 6 on my list, I have the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, The Dude from The Big Lebowski. Like DK said, the pose is really cool on here. It's awesome to get a couple new Dude pops recently, so this is great, and I think that it's a perfect pop for a Comic-Con, especially one like San Diego Comic-Con.
Coming in at number 5 on my list is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, limited to 2,000 piece flocked surfing Tony the Tiger. I mean, already with this pop, it looks really cool with the surfboard. It fits the theme of San Diego Comic-Con because of the summertime. And I mean, it was really cool to see a new Tony the Tiger pop be released here. But of course, it isn't like the OG pop, especially the flocked one, which is why it's only just making the top 5. If let's say this so happened to have been the first ever Tony the Tiger pop and it was flocked, it would have been much higher, maybe even the number 2 or 1 pop on this list.
Coming in at number 5 on my list, I have the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive 001 from Stranger Things. Really glad to see this pop. It definitely doesn't have a ton of detail, but I think they did what they could with it, and it's a must-have for my Stranger Things collection, so I knew it had to land somewhere on this list.
Coming in at number 4 on my list is also the San Diego Comic-Con shared with Target exclusive 001 from Stranger Things. This pop is pretty decent. It's a bit basic, but it is pretty decent, and especially it's a new character that has never been made into pop form being introduced as a Comic-Con exclusive. But I do feel that at some point we will get another version of 001, and I will think that it will be a much better version than what we have here, which is why it's not once again in like that top 3 portion.
Coming in at number 21 on my list, 4, is 21 Savage. I think that this pop is pretty cool. I enjoyed 21 Savage. I definitely thought that back in like 2016, when it was like his freshman year, that he was not going to be very good, but now he is a huge pop star / rapper, and I think he's very deserving of a pop, and I think that this one turned out very, very well.
Coming in at number 3 on my list is the San Diego Comic-Con shared with Entertainment Earth exclusive Young Leia from Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is a pop that I think deserved to be made. People were wondering, where's a Young Leia pop when the set of Obi-Wan Kenobi pops got announced during May the 4th reveals? And now we have it here for San Diego Comic-Con, and it looks really awesome, especially with Lola in her hand. That's a nice added attention to detail.
Coming in at number 3 on my list, exclusive to the con at San Diego Comic-Con, is the flocked surfing Tony the Tiger. This is awesome. I don't have a flocked Tony the Tiger in my collection, so this might be an easy way to do it, though the piece count is super low and I will have to pay a premium, but I feel like it might be worth it because this pop looks awesome and it's flocked, which makes a whole lot of sense.
Coming in at number 2 on my list is the San Diego Comic-Con shared with Target exclusive Hatching Raptor from Jurassic Park. This pop is wicked with the detail of it hatching within the egg, and then you have that like goo / blood coming out of there also, and the detail of the teeth. It just looks really, really awesome. I think my only gripe though is that when I seen pops of this, like people having them in hands, the pop is really tiny. It almost resembles like a Pokemon pop with how tiny it is out of the box compared to what it is in the box. So that's a little bit of a disappointment, but the detail of it is absolutely awesome though.
Coming in at number 2 on my list, I have the Stranger Things NFT royalty set, Freddie Funko as Eddie Munson. This is awesome. I love the original Eddie Munson pop, and I think a lot of people also did. I also really enjoy me some Freddie Funko pop, so if you put them together, then you get Freddie Munson, and this pop is awesome, and I think pretty soon it's going to be in my collection because it's that good of a pop.
And coming in at number 1 on my list, and I'm just going to say it out there, it's probably MD's number 1 if I were to predict correctly, is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive shared with whatever the name this grocery store is, Major, Mayor, you know what I'm talking about. It's the Timmy Turner, Cosmos, and Wanda 3-pack from Fairly Odd Parents. This pop is magnificent. The way that they pulled off Timmy Turner, especially with the Crimson Chin comic book. And then you have Cosmo and Wanda, and they actually are on stands because, I mean, they're fairy godparents. They're always in the air flying. So it definitely makes sense. They executed this pop very well. It sold out so quickly at so many retailers.
And coming in at number 1 on my list for the month of July 2023 is Gaia the Fierce Knight from Yu-Gi-Oh! So excited to get this. Wait, you're telling me we didn't get Gaia the Fierce Knight at San Diego Comic-Con? But the leak list, it said Gaia. Wait, it's Gaia from Captain Planet? What the hell? Coming in at number 1 on my list is the Fairly Odd Parents 3-pack. I mean, come on, this is amazing. We've been wanting Fairly Odd Parents pops for so long now. Only expected to get Cosmo and Wanda or to get Timmy Turner, but we got all 3 in one, and it is beautiful. DK summed up the rest of it for me. This is just a great set. Can't wait to see more Fairly Odd Parents pops.
Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this edition of a Funko Popcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what your favorite pops were from this month, and we hope to see you guys on another edition of a Funko Popcast. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
21, can you do some for me? Peace in, peace out.